Good, Bubba? It's good, right? Is it good? Let's go and get some of this. Fake ass Christmas? No, I'm just kidding. I know you irritating singers. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you saying? Stop jumping up there like you're retarded. Set it back there. I can remote this shit. I do a new thing now when I come in. I take my ADC off, I unload it. Most people say, why? Well, I don't need it loaded. Not in here. All right? That's why. Just like that. Right on in. See? So it's ready. All I gotta do is pop it in. Bada boom, bada bing. And that's how I leave it. I'm thankful for those who went and paid attention to the little live I did. And the video uploaded, I hope y'all got to see that as well. Maybe it's still uploading, I don't know. I wanted to address something this morning, and then I was going to read a little bit. You know, it's funny, I don't want none of y'all to be worried or afraid and all like that, but I always like being honest. There's a lot of people that know certain people on here, and they always inform me about certain individuals. So that's all I'm going to say. Now, if you've been paying attention, or you just think because you belong to something and you're part of something stupid that you can litigate your way through this, that shows how dumb you are. That's like I watched James B. Peterson, right? Guy from Canada, the doctor, the whistleblowing, well, about 1 million other doctors. It's funny how sadistic this system has become, that they believe that because it's on a roll that there's no way out. Well, a lot of them are suicidal, and those are Reagan's babies. The crazy folks that were let out who have been cornered by the CIA and all the other op groups, because you idiots don't know no better. You idiots don't know. That's my tripod. You idiots don't know no goddamn better. So you've allowed it. Like I was telling certain family members of mine. I'm letting down the tripod, y'all. I was telling certain family members of mine, and I was going hard on them. And some people are going, "Damn, Red, why are you going hard on your family members?" I said, "Wait a minute. Are you not my family member?" I said, "It's funny we all grow up, and all of a sudden, all of this is so-called biological. Aren't we all biological as far as the science narrative?" I said, "You know, it gets me with all y'all wokeness motherfuckers, and then in your candor, your stupor. I need to adjust these legs." I said, "It amazes me how stupid you motherfuckers really are, and the fact that is it not dawn on you not to be stupid, that the system needs you to be stupid and play on your stupidity?" I says, "Wow." I says, "But what's even more amazing? There's thousands of videos out showing college people are dumber than a can of rocks, and rocks aren't any dumb because they have an order to them. High school students are graduating, can't even do multiplication, simple multiplication, can't write cursive, can't read appropriately. And the ones who quit are the smarter ones with the higher IQs." So I look at Justin Trudeau, Biden, Harris, all of them, and they all are a bunch of lies that all were put in the position to do exactly what they're doing, because most of the time the people who are putting them in the position to do what they're doing, if you watch the videos, they ignore them. Trudeau's ignored. Every one of them's ignored by these certain individuals, these old, weak things that always have been weak. Probably notorious for being able to murder a baby and drink their blood and everything else and eat raw meat and enjoy the skinning of human flesh by certain sacrilege individuals. I'm only saying, I'm alleging too. So this young sister, I did a dual video, I'm gonna put it up on here, was talking about something she knows nothing about. Let me say something to you young people. Shut up with these wayward teachers who will love to lay with the little children who done educated you. Do you know what the education system actually means? I'm tired of teaching this. Do you know what it means and what it's derived from, what the words actually, don't give me the Greek and all that other nonsense. A little more Manuka honey. Yes, child, yes. That's just, whew. I love the bitters, but not today. Not today. No, sir. Whew. God, dog, it tastes like a leather shoe. You know how leather shoe smells. And these so-called, I don't like calling anybody leftist, woke, anything. Doctors call you stupid. What's funny is how they were able to get all these people to become democratic, not knowing that that's the society that got them in the position they're in and messed up their family and their heritage and everything else. It just amazes me. First of all, let me go ahead and help you with something. All right, let me go to my notes. Of course, it's in my head, but you know me. You know, some people like to sit there going, wait a minute, is he making that up? Not that I give two rat's ass shits. I need a chart too. I got this new non-tobacco, it says a little nicotine. I don't want nicotine. It's like 0.01. If any of y'all saw that, they sell it now at the Spirit gas station or, yeah. So I'm going to try it. It's mint. It's a eucalyptus mint. It's supposed to be for breathing and all that. I'm going to try it. Chocolate has caffeine in it, so I mean, I can't stand caffeine just like I can't stand sugar. Melanated people, is white sugar good for you? No. How was brown sugar from cane sugar, which when extracted and it's the best thing for you. So what is it about melanin? I want y'all to Google black man and woman. Then put in, after that, 60s, 90s, 2000. You're going to see pale skins. You're going to see a whole bunch of gay shit. Listen, then I want you to put in melanin being the light to society. Then I want you to put in melanated man and woman, the gods. Now, they're going to put this book up in this book. But I want you to just do it when you got the chance. Not right now. If Lord, you're in here, you know how to do that stuff and pop it in here if you don't mind. You know, I got to spit this stuff. I don't swallow nothing. I don't give a damn if it was partially in okra juice in a bag. I wouldn't. I don't swallow it. It makes me think I'm actually doing real tobacco. So anyway, well, poison tobacco. Anyway, check that out. Now, when I did that right before this fake demic shit, right? My own opinion, goddammit, it's fake, it's fraudulent, and a lot of people dying. And that's all I got to say to that. And I wish somebody would come and try me. Now, anyway, before this fake, it gave different pictures. It gave women and men with beautiful afros with the light all behind them. Just, I mean, Strumpsidiosis. Just seeing the black man and the woman together. Ain't nothing like it. Then you see these black nigrettes at the bottom talking about black feminists. I just want to rack all their asses. Anywho, Black Caucus, I'm surprised Lori Lightfoot, funky looking ass, wasn't behind it. Anywho, I want y'all to look at that. Now, let me get this tablet up. Turn this down a little more. I know somebody said something about it drowning out or whatever. Background music is all it is. Royalty free, no copyright background music. Okay, let me see here. Numa. Hold on, buddy. All right. I'm gonna read this, and then I want to hear y'all respond to this, and then I'm gonna give you something. We have inside of us. I don't remember holding this conversation with somebody else to say we have inside of us a light that is as bright and powerful as the sun. Somebody went up to the sun and somebody measured the light within us, okay? And sunlight triggers it. This is the light of the soul. What you have to remember is that it's the soul that matters. It's the soul that you need to see and focus on and show to the world. That's Vincent Corella. I want to hear what y'all got for that. Now I would have an open mic and do this, but I know you idiots won't come in and open your mouth and speak because you're too scared. Like if I'm going to abandon you and whip you or something. No, speak what you think. I'm gonna read it again. I'm gonna go in on that ass before I decide to read, because this is what we need right now. We need to tear down the old you. We have inside of us, wow, plural? Wouldn't it be more better to speak singular? Anyway, a light that is as bright and powerful as the sun, and sunlight triggers it. This is the light of the soul. What you have to remember is that it's the soul that matters. I said about several key things in there. I want to hear what y'all got to say to that. If I got to tell you, I want to hear the misnomers, the fallacies, the corruptness, the blatant lie, the irresponsibility, the good, the bad. I want to hear what? There's 3 of y'all in here, 3 of my beautiful people. Come on now. Stop sitting there like you in school. This ain't school. I need you to get it right in your own eye, and then me to ascertain something else that maybe you don't know. Come on now. People scared to even come over and speak up. Now, the idiots don't know what to do or say, but y'all should know by now. You want me to read it one more time? We have inside of us, not a trick goddamn question. We have inside of us a light that is as bright and powerful as the sun. What have you learned about the sun from me, from reading, whether it be in Flatlanders or anything else? We have. What have you learned when I was telling you, expressing to you about plural and singular? Inside of us, again, what bus are we all riding on together? Listen, and this is by this individual, Vincent Corella. A light that is as bright and powerful as the sun. And sunlight triggers it. Well, sunlight's coming from the sun, what triggers it? Well, anyway, like, I want y'all to pay attention now. This is the light of the soul. What you have to remember is that it's the soul that matters. Now, some people might sit there going, oh, Red, you just attempted to quantify and you're attempting to break it all down to a certain denomination. Man, shut up. What he is saying is copious and very true, but it's also misleading. And why am I pointing this out? It's like the government. I want y'all to say, type in all the time. Y'all typing a whole lot of other stuff. Type in here what I'm saying. I see that's why people scared to come. They're going, damn it, it's in the AM. Red is about to tear somebody's ass. I ain't going over there. Oh my goodness. I'm not here to tear nobody's. I'm here because I want to see if y'all getting it. It's that important. I can't say nothing else. Just because I like to ride horses and got my little rope and all that and cowboy boots, but I ain't wearing it today because it's a little too slippery and icy out there, and I ain't putting on them gaiters because they can grip. No, I'm messing them up. Nor my Diamondbacks. Not messing them up out there. Walking and everything fine, you hit that little piece of black ice. Football. No. Looking like, wrench your clothes tight up on your ass and your knee twisted and everything else. We got a little bigger and forgot that we was maturing and we kind of fall a little different. I actually know how to break falls, but regardless, you know what I'm saying? So please, as far as luminosity, I don't see nothing popping up. I'm asking y'all. We have inside of us, I gave you his name, Vincent Corella, the light of the soul. You can sit there and Google it on your other platform, unless you only own one. I know a lot of y'all have a laptop and you're on your cell, you're on your laptop, you have a cell. Read it. What do you get from it? This is very important. I'm not going to do this over and over because I will shut this bitch down. I see somebody already left. Unless they went to look and come back. On a Sunday I guess some people in a fake ass church, huh? I'm saying that because I mean that. I don't bite my tongue when it comes to that. We have inside of us a light that is as bright and powerful as the sun, and sunlight triggers it. This is the light of the soul. They're making a proclamation. They're making a statement as if it's the truth. This is the light of the soul, the sun. Or do they mean the light is as powerful as the sun that is in the soul? What is it saying? What you have to remember. And now they're making you remember. That's conditioning. This is brainwashing. They want you to collude to this. What you have to remember is that it's the soul that matters, as if nothing else matters, not the earth or nothing. I want y'all to really look into what's being expressed and said. Where the rest of these goofy niggas at? Oh, I'm going in. Y'all don't get it. I'm going in. Women my age still standing there taking pictures with their hand on their hip with their ass sticking. This stupid. Ooh, they might not like that. I gotta be careful. I don't want to ruffle the feathers too bad, but I'm gonna ruffle them. They're gonna be like, Red, oh no, Red ain't do nothing. And these dudes I just went through Instagram and Facebook, right? And these dudes, some of the indigenous putting the sisters up there showing their derrieres. Pay attention to these agents. Right? Trust me. You don't have to either. You don't have to trust me. But I'm just telling you, trust me. Like I said, I have people that tell me things. They let me know things. If you were smart, you get your ass gone. Trust me. It's sad when somebody actually have to tell you, trust me. When I don't need you to trust me at all. I need you to pay attention. All these know-it-alls.
Anybody else super excited to look into the organizations that Karen Judas, the World Bank whistleblower, said that are
You sound dumb. Somebody from Africa made a comment on a post I put up, right? Check this out. Now, the post is a sister. I'm going to let y'all hear it. I want y'all to listen.
Organizations that Karen Judas, the World Bank whistleblower, said that are currently trying to force Congress to do a constitutional review to prove that we're under an illegal constitution that was enacted after the Revolutionary War, which means that not only do we get to oust the politicians that are lawyers, because apparently that 13th Amendment in there said that they never should have been there in the first place, but also we can probably oust the entire American government because technically they committed treason by enacting a constitution without notifying the people, and also committed treason again when they stole all of the gold and the money backed by gold from the people. And that the only reason that they didn't go to prison and get tried for treason was because they gave us this fake-ass fiat currency, which is currently collapsing, and that if we actually can oust them, that we can liquidate them because of the money that they stole when they committed treason. It's all so exciting. But we are definitely going to need those certain people who claim that they're patriots and love their country to get the fuck out of the way and let this happen, because it's for all of us. Okay? Stop letting them lie to you. Okay? Okay. I'm kind of getting the store now. Okay, you guys have a great day. Bye.
That is Telomere 9 on TikTok.
Anybody else
Every
super
bit
excited?
every bit of about 25 years old, probably. And if you're a little older, surprises me. I'm not surprised. Now, I stated
That was
in a
enacted after the
response
Revolutionary
to
War.
this, hold on, I stated, so miseducated, ill-informed liberals like this need guidance for real. She's absolutely correct about this felonious government, yet not about the Constitution. And her miseducation is showing. The 13th Amendment, she's quasi spot on yet. Spot on yet. How about laws being used instead of policies? How about if she really knew history, she'd know that we are the actual authors of the Constitution, the original one, not the amendments. We didn't have to change it. It was perfect for the Republic, and we are no dang democracy. Now, as far as the Federal Reserve, if she would study the history as what happened when the murder of our real king, Lincoln, in his sickly years, by the way, the original and last of the Republic, by Booth, who really wasn't murdered, who you could today acclimate to so many secret society or special operators within certain government entities, liken onto that. And for a certain group of individuals to create this Federal Reserve with the purpose of bringing down the greatest civilization and people on earth. Now, if she knew that, to which she doesn't, so there's no hate. The reality is, why would we have to make a constitution that's perfect and then turn around and make amendments? Why would we want to remove anything that protects us but allow somebody else to do it because of wars and the murder and succession of our ancestors who made sure we knew things were removed? So many of our people like this don't know nothing. Therefore, they go to this system created by Mr. Rockefeller himself and a group of individuals to miseducate them, and they buy into it because we are like sponges when you're in adolescence, when you're young. I get it. I know the ignorance runs supreme right now. But somebody's going to sit there and they're going to see this and they're going to listen. Now, one of the comments that came from it was, and this is Kenyatta Gross, somewhere out of, where is she out of? Oh, wow. Chicago. And Pan-African. All with the UN. Yeah, a goofy Pan-African. Oh my goodness. Anyway, right? Makes the statement, and you could be enslaved again since that freedom had to have been guaranteed in the Constitution you are happy to toss out. My people were never enslaved. That's an enslaved mind, though. We're never slaves. Nowhere in my family did I see, but I know who I am. The problem is, if she knew who I was, she wouldn't be there. She'd be over here. Listen to learn, unlike some of you wayward individuals. And then Raleigh Dawn Official is all lies because she pays attention. See, some sisters pay attention, and some sisters are just caught up in their fragmented feminist movement, not knowing what it actually meant, feminist movement, thinking it's going to benefit her, and she looks like she wants to be a boy. So again, the proof is always all the way around. Would I argue and slander her? Of course not. She's ill-informed. So I'm going to read this one more time and ask you again. And I can't believe, I think the first time if y'all were intellectually smart, you would have responded. We have, this is by an individual. This is not me. I am reading The Light of the Soul by Vincent Corella. Do you want to know what he looked like? I'll be glad to show you. Oh, boy. Oh, he's on linked. Anyway, Let's see if I can expand his goofy face and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Go figure. Go figure. Now, let's go back to the meat of things. Okay? We have inside of us a light that is as bright and powerful as... I'm not being demeaning to him. I'm just pointing out some facts. We have inside of us a light that is as bright and powerful as the sun. And sunlight triggers it. This is the light of the soul. What you have to remember is that it's the soul that matters. It's the soul that you need to see and focus on and show to the world. How can you focus on something you haven't tapped into that you are farther disconnected from? Remember I was speaking about the 144,000? 7 levels? 33 vertebrae? The atlas holding up the universe? The Christ fluid? The male and female, whether you want to call it yin and yang, a swastika, the circle of life, that it continues. The fact that H and I and H or whatever can come on and say, we need to cut the population down. No, they want to control. I told y'all to look at Maiden's Tale. Did any of y'all watch that back when I expressed that to y'all? You know, when Canada's a righteous place and America's the fumble up and a certain group of individual businessmen enslave everybody after murdering a whole lot of people in dissonance. Everything has been a forerunner to it, whether it be in North Korea, whether it be the killing fields, Khmer Rouge, Pol Pot, certain things. The fact that war, all it does is make more sadists and sociopaths. The fact that these fake presidents means CEO, CFO, like to a company, are under them. The fact that the U.S. has nothing to do with this soil, this land. I told you the original name of this land, and you choose not to listen. Let's go on to something else. Seeing how y'all don't want to respond to that. We had the word pneumonia, right? Pneuma, right? A lot of y'all know that pneuma means philosophy. The vital, it's stoic though. The vital spirit, soul, or creative force of a person. Respirato or respiritas. Is that male and female? Well, I know in the Aramaic word of spirit, which the fake Jews want to sit there and say, well, yeah, the ruach. Well, the rucha of ruach on Aramaic and Hebrew is feminine, whereas in Greek, pneuma, it is neutral in gender. That's why I read respiratio, or respiratio, however the hell it's O and us, okay, which is philosophy. That means, isn't that based on somebody's own understanding? It has nothing to do with basically a theory. Ruach is the Hebrew word for spirit, breath, or wind. What is the Latin name for Holy Spirit? Paraclete. Ancient Greek, parakletos. What does that allude to? It means advocate or helper. In Christianity, the term paraclete most commonly refers to the Holy Spirit. Did y'all learn that in your Christian Bible camps? I'm only asking because most people refuse to go beyond what is given to them. They accept everything given and refuse to study, to say, no way, no more, none of that. But it doesn't mean that you don't find the correct thing. If you want to say apparatus or aperture or whatever, it's on you. What did I read about Mr. Corelli's soul thing? All right, here, let me go ahead and give it. Did anybody comment? How is the name spelled? Well, it's Vincent Corella, Carrella, like the little HO kind of cars. We have We have no. Maybe he has about what he sees. There's no we to it. He is making a statement, a proclamation to everybody. He wants you to listen to him. Inside of us, a light that is as bright and powerful as the sun. I told you we're more powerful than the sun. We're more powerful than anything. That is that is kind of like a deformation of its true nature. And sunlight triggers it. It sounds so beautiful, doesn't it? And sunlight triggers it. Isn't that melanin? Doesn't the sun feed us? Do we really need to drink water and eat meat? This is the light of the soul. What is the light of the soul? What is the light of the soul? He's not explaining it. There's nothing in parentheses or anything. What you have to remember is that it's the soul that matters. Okay, well, then why are we here? What about the existence of who we are? That we are living souls. They've stopped us from being able to regenerate, live as long as we want to, because they have dumbed us down from our truth. It has nothing to do with colors. I have to go hard on the pale skins because they're very ignorant to these facts. And they like sitting in the abode of their fakeness as if it's going to benefit them when it doesn't. Told you a friend of mine shot me the video. Well, he let me watch it. And he shot it to me. I'm not going to share it. Maybe with my boys I will. A Russian soldier who was captured by the Ukrainians, and they let him go. So what did the Russian soldiers do to say this? You betrayed. You was fighting against us with no proof. So they had him sitting there with his hands not tied and his feet, but they put his head up against a piece of concrete, taped. And when he said his name, the dude took the sledgehammer and broke his neck, his head. He fell out and took the hammer and smashed his head. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. But we see that all over the place, whether it be in the so-called drug wars created by a certain entity and allowed by the other entity that's supposed to be all protect the citizens. It's like police policies. You're supposed to exact that same energy on people that work in fiat, not on the civilians. They are untouchable. Actually, reason why they gave the police, who are dumb as fuck, quality immunity was because the system knows they're not supposed to broach upon us in our traverses. But because there are criminals out there, if they took that much energy and focused on the criminals, it wouldn't be so much criminality happening. But see, when you have people in positions that should never have happened, and sadists, Down syndrome, and a whole lot of other things plaguing them, you have what you have. The Constitution, as it was in origin, protected everyone, and they perverted it. They taught our younglings and us a bunch of lies. And then they made amendments to act as if they wrote it, but now people know what Hamilton really looked like, Lincoln and everything, so on and so on, Franklin and Benjamin. Yes. And the history they give is tantamount to a lie all the way around, to subjugate. And those who knew the truth were hunted down to murder them so the truth could not be told. And those who did know the truth were made to be silent. But not everywhere. And so that in itself, and they knew they couldn't do it, would allow infighting. You know what infighting creates? It's like a brother and sister having a baby in a time when it's unnecessary, and that baby comes out deformed. It's a deformity of what we're dealing with. And they further it with people who know the truth, who are scared and cowardly, to keep the deformity growing, to make it seem as if it's natural. And there's nothing natural because it wasn't there in the beginning. And what did they use? Well, if I destroy some buildings and kill a handful of people, Now I can say, oh, well, we just going to fight some people because they don't care about who dies on either side. But now they can write in some fictional law to subjugate the people. Slow. Well, we will enslave them. It's going to be drastic. We have to do what we have to do. And there's certain individuals that believe that. They never see the root of the issue or how it came to be. Are you paying attention? Yeah, it's puzzling that y'all couldn't get that from reading that, me reading that little diatribe of foolishness. Me saying the most powerful weapons we have is patience and time doesn't mean that we have a whole lot of time. Nor do we need to act patiently, but with angst. You dig what I'm saying? I don't have an iPhone. I can't like everything like you, brother. Just come on in the live. I wanted to give you that this AM because we're dealing with some sick times and people have to make some real decisions. And I know it's hard. Well, I know it's hard than a mofo. It was hard for me. I'm like Jonah. I'm stuck. No, I don't really care right now. Turn this light on. It's unnecessary. I'm just a country boy. Who needs to do what he has to do? I'm not here to stop anything they're doing. That's not my place. And that was written before time itself. So the game they're playing, it's going to run afoot. It doesn't matter what they think they've been successful in. You never hear all the stories of those who are involved. And right before they leave, they tell you something that's very important. They hide that. That's how morbidly sick these individuals are. They have enough on that side to turn around and go, enough of this. Regardless of who lashes out and starts taking, they can get rid of every one of them. The problem is they don't know where to start because they don't know how to stop. It doesn't matter either way. Oh, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get a little reading in. This is going to be the first time I'm reading this. I didn't read this. I've been reading some other books. All right. And as you saw yesterday, I have some more books to pick up. Ooh. Let's spit this crap out. I like my other stuff better, man. Something ain't right with that. Thank goodness it only cost $3.75. That goes in the garbage. For real. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I should have put a bay leaf in here. People that drink coffee, go ahead and put your little cinnamon and flax and a bay leaf in it. Coffee is the worst thing in the world, but if you're going to drink it, make sure you get a real one. Oh, yeah. Oh. Thank you, my Hindu brothers and sisters. The ones who actually put their magic on that. I love y'all. Oh, right. I really do. DNA of the Gods, the Anunnaki creation of Eve and the alien battle for humanity. By Chris H. Hardy, PhD. Some of the strongest theories are also the most fascinating, especially if they involve human nature and deep mysteries from the ancient past. Anyone who thinks they really understand reality doesn't have a clue. Enjoy this thoughtful and creative exploration of human origins and what it is to be us. And that's by Alan Leslie Combs, PhD, and Doshi Professor of Consciousness Studies and Director of CIS Center for Consciousness Studies. Further developing the revolutionary work of Zachariah Sitchin, Chris Hardy shows that the gods of ancient myth, visitors from the planet Nibiru, did we not look at the land of Nibiru? Where is it close to? Y'all remember? Created us using their own divine DNA, first through DNA extraction from their own ribs, marrow, and later by direct relations with early human females. Drawing upon multiple sacred texts, Hardy details the genetic engineering of humanity by Anunnaki scientist Ninmah, with the help of Enki and Hermes. She reveals how Ninmah's first female human creation, Tiamat/Eve, contained more alien DNA than the earlier male, Adamu, and how the biblical Noah represents the perfection of her work. Examining the war between Anunnaki brothers Enki and Enlil, Hardy reveals how the concepts of sin and the inferiority of women were born out of the Enlil's attempts to enslave and then wipe out humanity. Repeatedly thwarted by Enki and Ninmah, the author further explains how the sacred sexuality taught to humans, still seen in tantric practice, became suppressed millennia later by the patriarchal concept of original sin, and how innocent Eve took the blame for the expulsion from Eden and from grace, showing that the God who created us was not the same God who expelled us from Eden. Hardy explains that there will be no apocalypse because the good/evil duality has never truly existed. We have only had enemy gods fighting and implicating humanity in the wake of their own competition for power, truth. With a full psychological understanding of how the ancient gods have shaped humanity's ongoing history of conflict, we can move beyond the framework of, in parentheses, my, and good versus, in parentheses, your evil, imposed by Enlil, and begin to steer our own planetary destiny. Planetary, must I remind y'all again? And the other one, I think, is upstairs. Roger that. Let me see here. Ocean of Death, the land of custodians. And we know that the land of the custodians. Let me, y'all here, right? Isabella, the Itaman. It's land like an island, big as Russia. Eridiania, land of Mars. Let me go over here, close to them, because you know what's right next to them. Nerida, Titania. Sounds familiar? Oh, here we go. No, that's the wrong one. Hold on. I wish I had the map in front of me. I didn't make one. Not yet. Oh, yeah. They froze them all out. Those are the blue people. Mayhem. Nowhere near America 2, where the clones are. Star Wars, Clone Wars. Two different gods. Celestial Lands Terra Incognita is a water world. Are y'all aware of that? We have Criminy. Where's that? Where you at? you at? Terra Infinita has everything to do with Tartaria. I just wanted to point that out. Let me see. Is it? It might be another one. Yeah, actually, I think it is. And that's upstairs. Do me a favor, buddy, and run upstairs and get that one for me. He's looking at me like, nigga. Anyway, y'all remember when I pointed out, where was Nibiru at? I wanted to show y'all. Was it in lands of Seth? Hold on. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Because Nibiru was actually, I believe, in the Anunnakis, if we remember correct. And Area was right next to him. It's another book. It's upstairs. I'm not going upstairs right now to get it. Unnecessary. So anyway, let's go ahead and I'm not going to give you the witch card of who needs certain accolades and all that other. Okay, let's go right and get right in it. This book is dedicated to Zachariah Sitchin for the masterful work that he did in sorting out and then revealing the information about our creator gods and bring to full light the civilization of the Anunnaki who came to Earth. Now they're making accolades and statements. Does it mean that we have to buy into it? Of course not. Okay, so we'll hit the introduction. I'm not going to do acknowledgments. Okay, it's unnecessary. Before I immersed myself in this work, I had a numinous dream. I've been called by the great Ra Marduk to ascend the Eagle's Peak, where the phoenix will be reborn and will rise again. If he ain't a 33rd degree. Anyway, in this dream, trust me, I've been invited by Ra Almazud, name sounds familiar, to sit atop the Eagle's Peak and meditate there, at the place where heaven and earth meet and converse. Now, who saw what was the name of that comedy kung fu dude? Not Shaolin Soccer, but the other one, the Buddhist, whatever. Remember when he was going up and he was fighting the bad dude and the badass mug, and he tipped off the back of the wings of an eagle and came down with the Buddha palm strike and landed after burning his clothes off in his descent. Okay, anyway, in this dream, I've been invited by when we went through all that. At the moment I was called, I was coming out of a secret meeting held in a magnificent forest on a high plateau. It was a rather large meeting because I could see several all-terrain vehicles taking people away from a manor house along a star of dirt roads. Sound like a star fort to you? It was a rather large meeting because I could see several all-terrain vehicles taking people away from a manor house along a star of dirt roads. I had decided to walk and think by myself, but then the landscape was so beautiful and my state so deep that I felt like finding a high spot to meditate. I was walking through the forest toward the edge of the plateau, following a dirt path, immersed in my thoughts, and yet contemplating the forest. And behold, there was a tall and thin peak, its sides covered with rare trees, towering over the valley. And there I saw the booming and numinous body and head of a magnificent gigantic eagle, standing on the flat top of the mount, immobile, yet his eyes darting at me, calling me, an assistant and alive archetypal being. It bore a name on a giant sign, Almoz. The eagle was the consciousness of the man god. He was a sitting bird, a bird of wisdom, who has gathered in himself an immemorial and prophetic knowledge, standing immobile as was the alley and totem bird and totem bird that I had met in the doggone country, the doggone people. And yet it felt as if its wings were widely open, as if in full flight, just as the almost bird. And I started ascending the steep side of the peak. When I got to the top of the mountain, I saw that the eagle's huge claws were like the roots of an immense tree, running at the surface of earth before plunging into it. These roots making the whole flat summit look as if carved into being by the claws. Under the sacred eagle, on this peak, antenna guarded by almus, did I intend to meditate, and I sat there cross-legged. Lay, Before me lay the large and beautiful landscape of a deep wooden valley, the power spot, oriented and sacred, filled with the nominous spirit, was prodding me to reopen the memoirs or the memories of the olden times when Enki and Ta, and his sons Marduk, Ra, Ahuru, Mazda, and Ningishzida, no, I can't pronounce that, Ningishzida, Thoth, were roaming on earth, known to women and men, and choosing as wives or mates the daughters of the Adamic humanity. To reopen the memoirs of our origins, of a time when the great lady Ninmah, a genius Anunnaki among the Anunnaki gods, of superior mind and understanding and outstanding in her achievements, created the genomes of the first earth human couple, Adamu and Adam, and Tiamat or Eve. Sound like Prometheus? Clay tablets unearthed in Mesopotamia and dating as far back, well, it goes beyond that. I'm just using Prometheus because you need to know where they get these ideas from. Dating as far back, all right, clay tablets unearthed in Mesopotamia and dating as far back as 3500 BCE state that for an immense time, Ninmah was dedicated to the great work with her half-brother and consort Enki, and she had brought to life successive generations of, I gotta turn that off before it burns. Perfect. Okay. Excuse me. DNA that the Anunnaki gods, all right, by blending their own, worked with her half-brother and consort Enki, and she had brought to life successive generations of a mixed creature. By blending their own divine DNA, that of an Anunnaki gods, the ones who had come down from heaven to earth, with the DNA of an evolved ape woman. But never were she and Enki satisfied with her creations, and at each new trial, at each new phase, she added more and more of the godly DNA to the human creature, until this creature resembled them in all points, in linguistics and learning abilities, in scientific curiosity, in behaviors, feelings and emotional bonding, in all points save one, immortality. According to the Sumerian and Assyrian tablets, Enki, son of the king Anu, had been the first god who came down from heaven to settle on earth, that is, from a planetary body at the edge of the solar system, Nibiru, whose immense and thin elliptical orbit brought it cyclically in the vicinity of Earth. Enki, despite being exceedingly knowledgeable in matters of astronomy, physics, and engineering, didn't have the biological, medical, and genetic genius his half-sister Ninmah had, and she was the one who had perfected the Earth human race out of the DNA of their alien race. The head scientist in life sciences, Ninmah, had come to Earth early on with a group of young women scientists in order to oversee medical and health matters for the Anunnaki. The seeding of medicinal and health enhancing plants, who, in parentheses, it states, whose seeds and DNA she had brought with her in, and later to adapt domesticated animals to the Earth's environment. It's from her work that they could jumpstart, even there it talks about how we were herbivores, jumpstart agriculture and farming, and that earth and space shit, stop it. And farming. She was also the one to have elaborated the earth version of the elixir of immortality. That's why I said that know these guys are 33rd. That the Niberians used specifically adapted to the earth environment. To do so, she must have brought from Nibiru the plant, or in parentheses, the plants, and used to make it and get them to adapt to our planet. For we know it is a plant. This is one more reason that made her presence on Earth absolutely necessary early on, because the Anunnaki couldn't keep their quasi-immortality without this plant. Some tablets state that she had also to solve the biological perturbations created by a different gravity, a widely different, excuse me guys, be professional about this, circadian rhythm, and other adaptation problems. As they drink a lot of wine and beer in their festivities, one can assume that she was also the one to adapt vineyards and barley on Earth. We know that she was not part of the first party of 50 Nabarians who landed on Earth with Enki to look for gold, but that she came with the third or fourth landing. There are uncertainties about the beginning of this genetic engineering endeavor aimed at creating an Earth human species. Enki could have been the one to conceive of the plan to give a kick to intelligent evolution on Earth, and he would then have asked Ninmah to come to his abode in southeastern Africa and carry out the task. The second alternative would be that he called on Ninmah, who was the woman he loved, and they both conceived of this very long-term plan. There are reasons to believe that they had already done some ad hoc experimentations. Now, in parentheses, it states beyond the thinking and planning. And before they actually got a perfect pretext to propose their plan to the assembly of the gods, presenting it as a way to solve their manpower problem, a problem so acute that it had led to a violent revolt of the Anunnaki working in the gold mines in Africa. A meeting of the assembly, presided, as always, by Anu, the king of heaven who reigned on the planet Nibiru, was quickly convened. And in parentheses, it says Wars 104. Here we have Enki open his mouth and address the gods. Let her, Ninmah, create a primitive worker, and let him bear the yoke. Let the worker carry the toil of the gods, and let him bear the yoke. Thus, Ninmah, daughter of Anu, through the vote of the assembly, got the perfecting of a mixed creature, a Lulu. As a formal mission, Enki built, in parentheses, or presumably had already built in a laboratory for Ninmah in the Abzu. Abzu. That is what I remember of Ethiopia, which they call Africa. So he's got to be a 33rd because look him up. I'm not going to do that for you. He's using a word that didn't exist until not that long ago. And he's a pale skin, regardless of the Spanish and all that don't mean nothing. They set themselves up on every one of our lands. Then you see how they assimilated to play Indian here. Anyway, in Zimbabwe, do y'all know the original name? Anyway, we'll worry about that later. Above the mining center situated in South Africa. Together they studied in situ the diverse generations Ninmah created, the unsuccessful ones and then the successful ones. Together they aimed at a greater perfection. They wanted a real intellectual, psychological, and bodily resemblance. They wanted human beings who could be a match for them. While Ninmah was working on the bioengineering process, Enki, willing to speed up the process and to add more Anunnaki genetic material to the line of the mixed creature, at least 3 times, in parentheses it states, as far as the tablets stipulate it clearly, and made love to female earthlings of great beauty and impregnated them, one time visiting the earthlings with his Vizier in the beautiful place in the wilderness they had chosen for them. He made love to two young women on the riverside. One bore a son and the other a daughter, and the half sister married her half brother. In parentheses, as goes the Anunnaki customs. And they were Adapa and Titi, the first civilized humans, a new race of earthlings able to be taught writing and science. Adapa and Titi clearly correspond to Adam and Eve, insofar as the first sons they begot were called in Sumerian Cain and Abel or Abel, and that the first one murdered his brother and was sentenced to exile. The biblical account matching the Sumerian one. Adapa and Titi were a fourth leap in evolution from the first blueprint Earth human, Adam, who marked the first successful leap in evolution. In parentheses, it states the Homo sapiens. And, okay, Theosophical Society and Zionism all through this mug, Talmudic. Ninmah worked on the second leap in evolution while improving on the genome of Adamu to create the genome of the first Earth woman, Tiamat. Adamu and Tiamat were the Adam and Eve who resided in the Garden of Eden, which is in parentheses E.din, in the den, or Eden, being the name of Sumar, the southeastern region sitting between the rivers Tigris and Euphrates. And, well, I can speak on somewhere else where the 7 points of the rivers off of the Mississippi allude to the tablets and the Bible when the Euphrates does not. But that's a whole nother subject matter. The biblical version in this case seems to have merged the two Sumerian couples to present only one. Adamu and Tiamat were indeed brought out of Africa to Sumar on the order of Enlil, half-brother of Enki, and chief of command of earth, legal heir of the king of heaven, Anu. In the garden in the Eden, situated within Enki's territory around the city Eridu. But damn, if that ain't the dragon shit, little blonde-headed woman, Eridu, fighting that, seeking that, which is in the cold Arctics. Anywho, in parentheses it states, the first Anunnaki encampment on Earth, and it's now the turn of this damn name, Ningishzida. I'm going to look that up and learn how to pronounce that for you guys. Ningishda, or Ningishda, or whatever. In parentheses, known to us as Hermes. I like that better. And a son of Enki who had been trained in Africa by Ninmah to concourt a third evolutionary leap to Adamu's and Tiamat's DNAs. This time on their two living organisms. To do so, he used Ninmah's and Enki's respective DNA extracted from their rib marrow. After this very controlled mutation, the couple reached self-consciousness and was able to procreate, something Ninmah and Enki had held as a long-term aim. Not only did the Earth humans have to be an intellectual and emotional match for them, but of course they had to start procreating and furthering this evolution by themselves. Afterward, the generation of Adapa and Titi, in parentheses it states, the fourth leap, and will populate the earth. This is the introduction, and then it goes on for a little ways. We're going to break the introduction down. I'm going to let you know right where it goes to. I looked yesterday and I was like, these people are retarded. That's the introduction. And then it gets into one, God's cravings for power and control. The departure of Adamu and Tiamat towards Sumar, Eden, in parentheses, mostly to be shown as the great achievement they were, didn't stop the work done in Africa. Ninmah had replicated their genomes and created 7 female clones of Tiamat and 7 male clones of Adamu. In parentheses, it states a clone has necessarily the sex of the original individual, being its perfect DNA replica. And 14 goddesses, assistants of Ninmah, offered to be their carrying mothers and gave birth to them. Later, these clones were put to work in the gold mines, as had been the plan voted by the Assembly of the Gods. Does that sound like the Heaven Bearers? A fifth leap in evolution is achieved with Zusura, in parentheses, the biblical Noah, N. And it's funny that Zusura is almost close to the name of that fake Noah movie with a certain actor when they go for that stone that makes fire. What is the name of it? Closely it resembles, doesn't it? Who will survive the deluge? Zusura is the perfect man, just as Adapa and Titi. He is directly engineered by Enki, his mother, the queen of Sarupak, in parentheses, Ninma's city, Nineveh, was residing at Ninma's temple abode while the king had been lured to another city to oversee a major construction project. Like all previous generations, Zusura was raised and trained by Ninma herself. Enki got such a liking for him that he taught him personally diverse sciences, disclosed to him some of the Anunnaki sacred knowledge, and finally saved him from the deluge. Thus, Zusura was the fifth successful genetic mutation and yet the fourth Adamic generation of creation. And in parentheses, it states, because the third mutation was implemented on the living organism. And it appears clearly that the fourth generation Zusura marked indeed the achievement of the great work, alchemical, and it's these words, bro. I want to say alchemy, right? But it's alchemy. In essence, that Ninma and Enki had relentlessly pursued from the birth of Adam. And check this out in parentheses, about 300,000 years ago, and up to the birth of Zusura in 54,000 BCE, in parentheses, according to Zechariah Sitchin. And that's the idiot who he was reading about in the beginning. It is worth noting that it is noting that the first earth humans, especially Adapa, Titi, and Zusura, who had been engineered sexually by an Anunnaki making love to an earthling, had been all of them birthed and raised by Anunnaki goddesses and had a longevity that we would attribute to mortals. Moreover, a few humans were said to have been taken up to heaven, either temporarily or to live forever. The result was that their lifespan was increased immensely, and in parentheses it states, as happened to Adapa, and or they became quasi-immortals like the gods, in parentheses such as Zusura, also known as Noah, and we find accounts in the Sumerian and Akkadian tablets as such earthlings blessed with near immortality about Adapa, the first civilized man. The tablets state that at first, Enki has given wisdom, eternal life he had not given him. Make that make sense? About Adapa, the first civilized man, the tablets state that at first, Enki has given wisdom, eternal life he had not given him. But later in Adapa's life, Enki did him a great favor, says Sitchin. 12th 154 in parentheses. As the years went by, Enki decided to avert Adapa's mortal end by providing him with a shem, a fiery stone or rocket ship, with which he was to reach the heavenly abode of Anu, there to partake of the bread of life and the water of life. When Adapa arrived at Anu's celestial abode, celestial lands, Anu demanded to know who had provided Adapa with the shem with which to reach the heavenly location. And now we learn from the Epic of Gilgamesh that, holy smack, Zusura, Noah, or you could say his name was Utapishtim, in parentheses, who survived the deluge circa 1100 BCE, had in his possession a plant of longevity, and that the king Gilgamesh, this very late descendant living around 2900 BCE, will receive the secret and the plant from Uninterrupted's own hands, even if he lost it soon after. I gotta look these words. Three of these words I gotta look up. He will also get a first-hand account of the deluge, stating the decision of Enlil to wipe out humanity and how Enki gave him the information and helped him to build a submersible, in parentheses, the ark. I gotta look that word up. I hate saying a word like something like that, and I don't even know how to pronounce the damn word. Y'all hold on right quick. I think this will be beneficial to all of us. I know it's gonna be beneficial to me because I've never seen nothing like that before. Type it in just like that right there. If y'all don't mind.
Uninterrupted.
Uninterrupted. I was pretty much on, wasn't I? Holy smack! Which means Noah anyway. Sarusudan. All right. Okay. All right. So anyway, let me see. And then we'll adopt the state typically and then return. Okay. Deluge stating the decision of Enlil to wipe out humanity on the ark. Uninterrupted is one. Uninterrupted is one of the rare mortals to have been taken along by the gods to reside with them on Nibiru. In parentheses, it states, while Adapa just stayed there temporarily and then returned to Earth. Let's thus keep in mind that apart from these exceptions, the first Earth humans who had been barred from being immortal by a collective decision of the Anunnaki had nevertheless an immense span of life. This is in essence the true story of our origins as Earth humans, as evidenced by the historical data presented in the several tens of thousands of clay tablets that we have unearthed so far. But we keep discovering new libraries, and their numbers shall only rise. For the most part, they are written in the Sumerian pictographic language, in Akkadian, in the Assyrian cuneiform language, in Babylonian, and more. Just in Nineveh, in parentheses, capital of the Assyrian Empire. We have discovered the library of Ashurbanipal, buried under the ruins, and unearthed there already about 31,000 clay tablets covered with cuneiform texts. The soundness and reliability of the data, what makes them true historical data, is the fact that many books have been copied and recopied over the millennia. Many have been translated into old times word for word from the original Sumerian tablets, and the events and facts that are recounted as strikingly similar, enabling us to supply damaged lines in one tablet with the equivalent text in another. Sometimes the scribe would notify that his text was a copy of such and such earlier text, and he would keep the main names in their Sumerian forms. Wow. When I first heard of similarities between events recounted in the Bible, in parentheses, the book, and in the Sumerian tablets, as a trained ethnologist and researcher in comparative religions, I formed the idea that only some, check that out, comparative religions. I formed the idea that only some events that I deem mythological or archetypal at the time had been the underlying fabric of religions, including the three religions of the book: Hebrew, Christian, and Muslim. It's only when I got to read the real Mesopotamian text and the data provided by this astounding scholar, who was Zachariah Sitchin, expert in biblical studies and Middle Eastern civilizations and languages, that I abruptly realized I was not reading any myths but records of past events and sound scientific accounts. They want you to believe some of this bullshit, y'all. Told you, check both of them out, both names. See chapter 2. I'm going to get there. In the meantime, I had gotten myself into hard sciences, experimental psychology, okay, cognitive sciences, system theory, chaos theory. What is chaos theory, people? Order out of chaos? Doesn't happen that way. That's a reset of them, and they don't even know it. Too stupid. And I had developed a good grasp of quantum mechanics and biology, all with error. The tablets were definitely not fuzzy and symbolic accounts, even if the concepts developed millennia later by our science were not identical. In parentheses it states, and it was necessarily so. Necessarily. That means put to the test. Somebody had to make it happen, made it happen. It was easy to recognize the DNA and genetic code when one was encountering the term essence of life. Essence of life has no DNA marker. Come on, people. As in mixing the Anunnaki essence of life with the essence of life of a bipedal hominoid in order to perfect a mixed being. But here we have to make a digression to assess what I call historical accounts. What he calls. It's not is. Pay attention to the words, the wording, in parentheses, as opposed to simple imaginative myths, end. And also sound scientific accounts. And we know what science is. And the accounts therein latent. They're not factual. Most historians and mainstream scientists retrospectively see the start of history, and in parentheses it states here, as a research field and the application of a method in with Herodotus, yet Herodotus, 5th century BCE, seems to be only the one we chose to call the first historian. Right, a fucking Greek. This, and they're not even a quarter going back to the past, not even a tenth. This is in fact a subject being debated, even if his work was definitely a better quality. Herodotus himself had predecessors. Now, this alludes to you the fact that these people believe everything they read, and that is what I call the white what? That they all want to deny nowadays days with the wokeness. They believe that them in this period of them being at the top of something, right? That whatever that one of them writes is something to piggyback or build off of when most of it is pure bullshit. Anyway, himself had, what is the saying, y'all? That they deny all the time. I'm waiting. I don't have. And yes, you do, fool. On my soul and on my earth. Anyway, before historians developed a large scrutiny over a whole region and time period, there was historical data written on tablets in Sumer. Each king or queen of a city had scribes to write all the data of his or her reign, such as accounts of wars, temples and palaces, political alliances, and exchange of letters with other rulers, using the geopolitical language of the time. Furthermore, the greatest and most ancient rulers, in parentheses estates from the royal Anunnaki family, and would also copy and sometimes rewrite the ancient history of their home planet and how they came down to Earth, how they created the Lulus. Where did we see Lulus at before, people? Anyway, the wars between brothers, etc. What did I say to you about the First World War between cousins? Well, anyway, in parentheses it states, we will see this with the example of Marduk, for one. And two streams of reflection allow us to assess the issue of historical data versus myth. Here they are professing something for you to believe, and I tell you, do not. First, the antiquity and coherence, in parentheses it states, is cross-references with other bullshit. Anyway, Just don't chew the meat, spit the bones, or chew the fruit and spit the seeds. All right. I'm not saying. I am saying of the tablets written in Sumerian and other languages, notably a whole library of more than 31,000 tablets discovered under the ruins of Nineveh. The tablets go back to the middle of the 4th millennium BCE. That is as far as we know now. So how could they be talking about what's a fact and what isn't? Anywho, but we keep discovering tablets under the ruins of ancient Mesopotamian cities. In the tablets of the Law Lewis collections, the historical accounts of kings, reigns, and their wars, and fears go back to the late Uruk Jamdat Nasser period, which is around 35 to 2900 BCE, and the Proto-Elamite period, circa 3000 BCE. The unearthed tablets in several different languages recount the wars and feats of the rulers, as well as hymns and prayers to their gods. It is precisely on the basis of the dates and data given in these tablets that historians were able to figure the history of ancient Mesopotamia and the Middle East. This is historical data by definition. The second thing is they was telling you that Columbus found America. The earth is round and the sun is 93 million miles away with a moon and zipping through space, going and nobody knows what direction because it was never mapped out, and yet all the celestial stars stay in the same place. And the actual so-called stars, when you look at them with a real flat lens scope, they look like something with water, as if they were the ships or something, just sitting there or watching. Anyway, the second thing to keep in mind when assessing the validity of the data is the similar key events recounted in diverse historical sources. That's why it's good to read many things. Here is an example, okay? If IF, which is IS, A, or for example, in parentheses, the Babylonian historian Berosus, and we can see page 53. Let's go to page 53. I want to see what this thing is. Oh, and that's the war. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So, all right. Sumerian historian and priest Berosus, who lived in Babylon but wrote in Greek, and who in the 3rd century BC compiled a comprehensive history of mankind. Oh, okay. All right. So, repeat that later. All right. In the 3rd century BC, was able to give a historical account of the deluge and the role of Zusudra, Noah, as well as the Tower of Babel and the diversification of languages ordered by a deity. And example B, we find, oh, it's underneath too. Oh, they got all the things, cuneiform collections and all that, okay. We find very similar accounts in Sumerian, Akkadian, and Babylonian tablets, some dating to the 35th century BCE and even older. And finally, for example, in C, we find similar accounts in the Bible, dated, in parentheses stated, dated much later, according to the latest evidence to the 10th century BCE. And then it means that, one, these key events, in parentheses, Garden of Eden, Deluge, Tower of Babel, have, and in the parentheses, have really happened, and two, long before the earliest parts of the book were written. However, they have been interpreted within the semantic field of a particular culture. And okay, here we go. I skipped a line. In parentheses, a people, a faith, and a time frame. And I'm gonna read this one, and we're gonna close this down, and we'll get into we're gonna come back and read later because I want to get into wars and Anunnaki. My point in this book is to critique the diverse biases in the book's rendition that did or didn't exist in the immensely earlier texts of the tablets. The two main biases in the book being, first, as Sitchin pointed out, the erasing of the family of the deity and the shift to a monothesis framework, and second, the corrosive gender and authoritative biases. Damn, ain't we dealing with that right the fuck now? No, somebody please let me know something. Excuse my language. I didn't have to say now. Somebody let me know. Somebody please scream and shout. Don't give me a head in a hole. Let me know. Are we not dealing with this right here? Semantic field of a particular culture, right? Blah, blah, blah. But then we get down here. erasing of the family of the deity, and the shift to a monotheist framework. And second, the corrosive gender and authoritative biases. Are we not dealing with that retardation stuff right now? DNA of the gods, the Anunnaki creation of Eve, and the alien battle for humanity. What do y'all think? I'm reading with y'all, so I never read it. I ain't never read that crap. Some of y'all may have, but I'm going to break shit down. I'm sorry. Because I got history that goes further back than all that bullshit. And that's all I'm going to say to that. Let me pull this guy's name up. I got you. Yeah, I did, but I didn't save that because I don't like keeping people's names in here. All right? Unapishtim. Okay, excellent. I'm going to hold that up there. Okay. I don't love shit like that. All right, come on. We're going to put this one in there. Holy shit. Did I just witness something? Holy shit. Okay. Okay, hold on. God damn it. Princeton Psychophysical Research. Elder Willie Mays Sr. Amazing Life and Legacy. Hold on. I knew they wouldn't. I'm going to have to go to another. I'm not going to do it on here. I'm going to have to go somewhere else to find this information. I know if y'all looked up the name Chris H. Hardy, you already see what I see. Megaliths, cathedrals, lines, and power of secret consciousness. Okay. All right. I knew it. So whenever you can't pull nothing up like that, this is a reason why they hide right now. Okay. They hide these motherfuckers now. They hide these motherfuckers good now. That's why it's important to know, because whenever you have these niggas, these Negroes come along pushing this stuff, that's why I'm reading it. It's because they belong to the same circle. I'm reading it right quick. I'm not signing up for nothing. Because, I mean, there's other books that I want to buy, and The Living Souls of the Spirit Dimension of the Sacred Network, written by this woman. Yes, that's what I just said. Judeo, I knew it. The Holy Bible Masonic Edition reference text, the John A. Hertel Company, 1963, Hardy, Chris H., PhD, DNA of the Gods. Yeah, 33rd degree, I knew it. Yeah, female people. Let me, I'm not downloading this picture. I'm just going to show y'all. Chris H. Hardy, PhD. All right, let me pull up this other character. This is no disrespect. You know, the disrespect is believing everything that's been put out before you. I'm not into that. I don't give a damn if it was a man or not. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something else. So for those of you caught up in that shit, you got Black China and all them people that do all that dumb shit. If people don't know that by now, I'm here to tell you right now, don't worry about that shit because they're going to have to deal with their perversion. Zecharia Sitchin was an author of a number of books proposing an explanation for human origins involving ancient astronauts. Sitchin attributed the creation of the ancient Sumerian culture to the Anunnaki, which he stated was a race of extraterrestrials from a planet beyond Neptune called Nibiru. Born July 11, 1920, Baku, Azerbaijan. I can't even pronounce that word no more, y'all. Azerbaijan. I used to be able to say it. I'm ex-military. Died October 9th, 2010, New York, New York. Movies and TV shows, Are We Alone in the Universe, UFO Secret, Alien Context, The Best Evidence. Education, London School of Economics and Political Science. He was definitely a Yorkshire Rite or Scottish Rite fucking Mason to make sure that you are staying around Earth, believe in something other than the fact of what you are and who you are. She is no different. Zecharia Sitchin participating in a 33rd degree Masonic ceremony and other video confirmation of Masonic connections. And he's a fraud. Wow. With the decline of cathedral building, some lodges of operative working Masons begin to accept honorary members to bolster their declining numbers. Holy shit. You can actually watch him doing his. And author a number of books proposing an explanation for human origins, and he was a fraud. Is there a connection between secret societies and ancient aliens thousands of years in the past? Something that's a book to look into, and I don't really care though. So he's one of them. And what is their job? To make sure you stay what? And mostly everything that they deal with is steeped somewhere in some truth, but also in a large number of things, a whole lot of manipulation and bullshit, because nothing's new under the sun. It's a good read. So, we will be picking this up. I ain't lose my book. We'll be picking this up a little later. I want to read some more of this motherfucker. I meant to do it yesterday. And I might throw in a little Heaven's Bearer and the exposition. And a little bit of Arthur Kessler. I appreciate you guys taking the time to come and watch me fumble through this midnight. Get these damn dumbbells out the way. Oh, Jesus Christmas. I wish more people would come, but like I said, some people want to be entertained with a whole lot of bullshit. They want to stay in the same rigmarole without expanding their horizons of how important they are and what they need to do. It's still the same thing. Some people talking about dollars. This, that, and that's about dead, y'all. It's worthless. It's just futile. And I hope that you're getting something. And I hope you're sharing it. If you're not, whatever. Like I said, I know the end story. Doesn't matter what you think or what you believe. Not no more it does. So we're going to read. We're going to keep reading. And I'm going to come back and I'm just going to go right into reading. Well, I'm going to let the music play for about 30 minutes and there ain't going to be no swearing. I have to always remind me of that because y'all not going to remind me. Freaking frack. But I'm going to have to do what I got to do. All right? And it is now going on 11 o'clock. About 11 o'clock. Isn't it about 11 o'clock? It's 11 o'clock. It's 11:02. I got to change the battery. All right? And I appreciate it. Let me give a shout out. Rondell, Creator 7. All right, how is the name spelled? I appreciate you doing that. Much love, brother. Grand elevations, man. You call American needs you. What's cracking? Midget MCs. Oh man, what's going on, family? Timmy's Hines, peace and blessings. All Malcolm in here. Lloyd Carty. What I do? Rep Floyd, you are never late. Are you working today? Is that 3 day off, 3 day on, 2 day off, 2 day on, whatever, however y'all do it? I hope y'all enjoyed that reading. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed that reading. You dig what I'm saying? I got to finish this tea every other. Right. And get something to eat. Oh, what was that I took? I know none of y'all asked, but I'm just going to share it with you. That was a mullein leaf. And don't do it every day. Have 2 or 3 days where you do it. Take a break for about 4 or 5 days. Then go back and do it about 2 or 3 days. Because the shit can be kind of hard on your system. Any and everything. That's like this right here. Remember I said 2 or 3 days on, then 3 or 4 days I don't drink it. Then I do it again. Too much dandelion root is toxic. But anyway, for the lady, because I didn't see Mama Red pop in. Nobody else. But same here, about to fix some tea. For sure. I hate you. All right, Rep. All right. I know you're kind of busy, hon. Give me a ring. But anyway, to the lady, to the gentleman, number love and respect. I appreciate y'all. Ginger, I know you done whipped up that ginger. You had that real ginger too. Share this. Share it. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Instagram. Share it wherever and everywhere. Share it to the chats. Even the people that don't want to hear it, share it anyway. Because you know what happened? They'll turn around and watch and be like, hold on, wait a minute. Let me put my little 2 cents in it. That's all. All right? Share it. Share it to your family members. They want to ignore it. Maybe they're not ignoring it. Maybe they're just shadow banning because, these cowards, that's how they move. They manipulate it. That's what the control is. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I appreciate everybody coming in. My beard looking crazy, right? My mustache and everything. It's getting long, y'all. It's getting wild. But I love y'all. I can't help but see it. But anyway, I love y'all. And we're going to pick this up in a little bit. I got to eat something, y'all. Appreciate it, Lord. Appreciate y'all.